This is Nicole, and I am sharing this through Facebook Live, and then I'm going to share a screen. So I'm doing it from Zoom tonight because is a slide from a um, talk I did a few years ago called it was Entrepreneurship as Self-Directed Education, but the one of the slides talked about how my sort of tendencies, my sort of creativity, one of my strengths is that I am not ADHD, but I am a damn highly divergent thinker. And in my case, I have seen this play out in other children's lives. Um, when I worked in the high school, when I've interacted in other places with kids, there is there are children who are being viewed with a deficiency lens, with a disorder lens on a strength that is their ability to highly diverge their thinking. And divergent thinking is like brainstorming. It's being able to have fluency and flexibility um, in the ideation, the ability to come up with lots and lots of ideas. I talked, I think, once before about children at the age of 5 are considered to be at the peak of creative genius. 98% scored genius on tests of creativity, and only 2% of adults. And part of this is that we sort of um, really beat down people who are highly divergent. And I'm not saying that I think ADHD does not exist at all. But I was inspired tonight to talk about this because I shared on my feed in Facebook right before this a tribute video to Sir Ken Robinson. And in his talks, I shared one a couple of years ago where he talked about, the epidemic of ADHD being fictitious in that it is being overdiagnosed. And in my case, I totally believe this to be true. And as I said, I've seen it with my own two eyes. And so we are taking these highly divergent creative thinkers and we are medicating them into submission. We are taking away and numbing it and trying to box it in. And I just think it's about time we stop. And I really wish that more schools and more pediatricians and psychologists and psychiatrists would actually begin to understand the nature of creativity better, would actually feed the creative potential of students and make it so that, uh, the studies have found that creative teens drop out at higher rates than the average students because it's not meeting their creative needs. Okay. And so in my case, I speak to parents because you're the first line of defense on this. You are the ones who know your children, you know their strengths, you know if they wow you with their ability to um, think of different ideas, to come up with rapid fire ideas. And you can actually seek out, people who can help you understand your child's creative potential and maybe not take a path that says, hey, this could be a strength instead of a disorder. And I really think that this is an important topic and an important conversation to have. And it's one that I want to have. And again, it is something that as I support people to build their own schools, to create their own schools, this will be something that I will reinforce to them to take a strengths based approach to look at things that, even because, or just because this doesn't allow a child to sit in a classroom and shut up when a teacher wants them to, doesn't mean that it is a problem. And again, the video that I shared for Sir Ken Robinson, if you haven't watched his Our School's Killing Creativity and you haven't heard him talk about the story of Gillian Lynn, who was the choreographer of Cats and Phantom of the Opera, um, I suggest you watch it and consider the fact that in her case, if her parents had followed, or if she had seen a different therapist who just gave her medication, we may not have had the beauty of those choreographies and the beautiful dance that she brought to the world because she was a dancer and that didn't work well in school. So this is still happening and I wish it wasn't. And I'm going to determine to bring awareness to it. And I hope that you will spread the word that is such a thing as a damn highly divergent thinker instead of it only being that those behaviors look and are ADHD. Okay. That's my word for tonight. Love to hear your comments and I'll see you tomorrow.